Welcome students. In the IP version 4 addresses, which comes under logical addressing, we'll see the network address. We have seen the classless and classful addressing. Now today we will see the network address. Network address is nothing but it is defined as the organization network. It defines the organization itself to the rest of the world. A very important concept in IP addressing. A very important concept. A very important concept in IP addressing is network address. When an organization is given a block of addresses, the organization is free to allocate the address to the device that need to be connected to the internet. The first address in the class, however, is normally treated as a special address. So the first address, we call it as a network address and defines the organization network. It defines the organization itself to the rest of the world. This is a network configuration for the block 205.16.37.32/28. 28 is the mask. So in this, we have the network address and the device addresses. The first address, we call it as the network address, which is connected to the rest of the world. IP version 4 addresses. The organization network is connected to the internet via a router. The router has two addresses. One belongs to the granted block, the other belongs to the network that is the other side of the router. We call the second address x.y.z.t/l because we do not know anything about the network it is connected to at the other side. All messages destined for address in the organization block 205.16.37.32 to 47 are sent directly or indirectly to x.y.z.t/n. We say directly or indirectly because we do not know the structure of the network to which the other side of the router is connected. Hierarchy. IP addresses, like other addresses or identifiers, we encounter this days have levels of hierarchy. For example, a telephone network in North America has 3 levels of hierarchy. The leftmost 3 digits define the area code. The next 3 digits define the exchange. The last 4 digits define the connection of the local loop to the central office. So this is the hierarchy in a telephone network in North America. The first 3 digits define the area code. The next 3 digits define the exchange office. And the last 4 digits define the subscriber, which is connected to the subscriber. 2-level hierarchy, no subnetting. An IP address can define only 2 levels of hierarchy when not subnetted. The n leftmost bits of the address x.y.z.t/n define the network organization network. The 32 minus n rightmost bit define the particular host, computer or router to the network. The two common terms are prefix and suffix. The part of the address that defines the network is called the prefix. The part that defines the host is called the suffix. So the host is defined by the suffix, whereas the part of the address that defines the network is called the prefix. Network is defined by the prefix. So this is the network and host. Network is defined by the prefix and host is defined by the suffix. Three level of hierarchy subnetting. An organization that is granted a large block of addresses may want to create cluster of networks called subnets and divide the address between the different subnets. The rest of the world still sees the organization as one entity. However, internally there are several subnets. All messages are sent to the router address that connects the organization to the rest of the internet. The router routes the messages to the appropriate subnet. The organization, however, need to create small subblock of addresses, each assigned to specific subnet. The organization has its own mask. Each subnet must also have its own. An example, suppose an organization is given the block 17.12.40.0/26, which contains 64 addresses. The organization has 3 offices and need to divide the addresses to 3 subblocks of 32, 16 and 16 addresses. We can divide the new mask by using the following argument. Suppose the mask for the first subnet is n1, then 2 to the power 32 minus n1 must be 32, which means that n1 is 27. Suppose the mask for the second subnet is n2, then 2 to the power 32 minus n2 must be 16, which means that n2 is 18. Similarly, for third mask columns, third subnet also, n3 will be 28. This means that we have the mask 27, 28, 28 with the organization mask being 26. So this is the configuration and addresses in a subnetted network. So we have divided the networks into 32, 16 and 16. So this is 32, this is 16 and the top one is also 16 addresses we have divided. And the network address is given here. This is the network address. 17.12.14.0/26. This is the network address, which is connected to the rest of the world. 3-level hierarchy in API version 4. We can say that though subnetting we have 3 levels of hierarchy. Note that in our example, the subnet prefix length can differ for the subnet. So the subnet prefix length can differ for the subnet prefix length can differ for the subnets. So as you can see here, we have the network prefix, we have the subnet prefix, we have the host address. The network address is of 26 bits, the subnet prefix is of 27 bits, and the host address is of 5 bits. Similarly, for subnet 2 and 3, we have network address, network prefix has 26 bits, subnet prefix has 2 bits, and host address has 4 bits. More level of hierarchy. The structure of classless addressing does not restrict the number of hierarchical levels. An organization can divide the granted block of addresses into subblocks. Each subblock can in turn be divided into smaller subblocks, and so on. Address allocation. The next issue in classless addressing is address allocation. The next issue in classless addressing is address allocation. How are the blocks allocated? The ultimate responsibility of address allocation is given a global authority called the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Addresses. However, ICANN does not normally allocate addresses to individual organizations. It assigns a large block of addresses to an internet service provider. Each internet service provider then divides his assigned block into smaller subblocks and grants the subblock to its customers. Network address translation. This is one of the important topics. So, what is the purpose of network address translation? We will see that. The number of homes, users, and small businesses that want to use the internet is ever increasing. Home users and small businesses can be connected by an ADSL line or cable modem. In addition, many are not happy with one address. Many have created small networks with several hosts and need an IP address for each host. With the shortage of addresses, this is a serious problem. A quick solution to this problem is called network address translation. So, network address translation is used for the shortage of addresses. So, in this, a group of networks are assigned a specific address. That address is used for communication purpose. Network address translation. Network address translation enables a user to have a large set of addresses internally and one address or a small set of addresses externally. The traffic inside can use the large set, the traffic outside the small set. To separate the addresses used inside the home or business and the one used for the internet. The internet authorities have reserved 3 sets of addresses as private addresses. So the addresses from private network, from this is the range for which the addresses are defined for private networks. It is defined from 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255, total 2 to the power 24, and another from 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255, total 2 to the power 20. Similarly, for 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255, total of 2 to the power 16. Any organization can use an address out of this set without permission from the internet authorities. Everyone knows that these reserved addresses are for private network. They are unique inside the organization, but they are not unique globally. No router will forward a packet that has one of these addresses as the destination address. A network address translator. As we see, there is a internally we have more than 3 computers here, 3 stations here that have a network address translator. Address as 200.24.5.8. This will be used as the one specific address to be connected to the internet. Using this set of networks, subnetworks. Using this subnetworks, we can connect using this IP address 200.24.5.8. The router that connects the network to the global address uses one private address and one global address. The private network is transparent to the rest of the internet. The rest of the internet sees only the network address translator router with the address 200.24.5.8. Address translation. Although the outgoing packets go through the network address translator router, which replaces the source address in the packet with the global network address translation address, all incoming packets also pass through the NAT router, which replaces the destination address in the packet with the appropriate private address. So addresses in a NAT. So as you can see here, this is the outgoing packet which has the address 172.18.3.1. So it has a NAT address as 200.24.5.8. This is the incoming packet. It has an address of 200.24.5.8 and it has a destination address as 172.18.3.1. So it is assigned to the network from which it is transferred. So the sender and receiver are same. Translation table. The reader may have noticed that translating the source address for outgoing packet is straightforward. But how does the network address translator router know the destination address for a packet coming from the internet? There may be tens of hundreds of private IP addresses, each belonging to one specific host. The problem is solved if the network address translator router has a translation table. So using the translation table, the data which is coming from the outside the network, it will be destined to a particular specific computer using the table. In its simplest form, a translation table has only 2 columns, the private address and the external address. That is the destination address of the packet. When the router translates the source address of the outgoing packet, it also makes note of the destination address where the packet is going. When the response comes from the destination address, the router uses the source address of the packet as the external address to find the private address of the packet. In this strategy, communication must always be initiated by the private network. So as you can see here, the communication must always be initiated by the private network. So the private network has the IP address of 172.18.3.1, whereas the NAT address is 25.8 the external address to which it is going is 25.8.2.10, and the network address NET address is 200.24.5.8. So this 200.24.5.8 will make a table keeping track of the internal, that is the private network, and the destination address. So using the private network and the destination address, it will keep track to which the private network, the destination source, the destination data must be transferred to the private network. Using a pool of IP addresses. Since the network address translator router has only one global address, only one private network host can access the same external host. To remove this restriction, the network address translator router uses a pool of global addresses. For example, instead of using only one global address, the network address translator router can use 4 addresses. In this case, 4 private network hosts can communicate with the same external host at the same time, because each pair of addresses define a connection. However, there are still some drawbacks. In this example, no more than 4 connections can be made to the same destination. Although no private network host can access 2 external server programs at the same time, using both IP address and port number. To allow a many-to-many relationship between private network host and external server program, we need more information in the translation table. If the translation table has 5 columns instead of 2, that includes source and destination port number of the transport layer protocol, the ambiguity is eliminated. Note that when the response from HTTP comes back, the combination of source address and destination port number defines the private network host to which the response should be directed. So if we use a combination of port, private address, external address, then and transport protocol, we can increase the internal network connectivity. We can increase the range of IP addresses using port address. With this, I conclude here today. Thank you very much.